What's up, Brian?
What's going on, man?
Tired?
Yeah? Did you
Yeah.
have an eventful weekend? Because I didn't do a doggone thing.
I had an amazing weekend and you missed out, bro.
I know. I've
I'm
been
sorry.
watching everybody's videos and looking at the pictures, and yeah, it looked like it was an amazing setup, especially for dinner. Oh my gosh. I know we're going to talk about it.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how this sounds to everybody else, but it was the best Mega Mini I've ever been. So
No kidding.
it was amazing, and you missed out, Brian. You missed out.
I did. I definitely did. I broke Tom's heart.
Yeah, that's okay. Tom wore your badge. It was great. But let's just play the intro and get these guys in here because this is gonna be a great episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience.
This is a Matos Designs production.
And I am not done. Part 5
I like your line, and I like your prices. But there's a problem. There's no guarantee on the box.
You can't hang out with chickens and expect to soar with eagles.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
An electrician got your light works up.
And now your hosts, JR and Brian.
Oh, we can handle it. We're professionals.
What is up? We have Tom Stallings and Fred. I'm not even going to try that last name because I'll screw it up with us today. Now, Florida Mega Mini is a committee, but these are the two people I interacted with the most and I think had the most hand in it. They'll explain everything, but I thought having them here would be great because it was amazing, guys. I'm not going to lie. It was the best Florida Mega Mini I've ever been to.
And this is all I got to say.
I can imagine you guys are exhausted.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But it was
great. Thank you for the kind words.
It was awesome. Brian, you missed out.
I did.
I
totally did.
The venue was really cool. Their like dinner show with the Pixel show, it was very like Disney-like. Like it was like an animated like show and a video. It was awesome. Tom interviewing Tanya was freaking cool, even though he was a nervous wreck. He did a great job. Fred got to sit down with me for dinner for like a few minutes, which was the first time I see him sit. It was great. But he ate and then left. It wasn't like got to hang out. So it was awesome. And vendor hall was cool. I didn't get to see the vendor hall much on Sunday because I was doing two of the classes, or I guess round tables.
Sunday we were gone.
Sunday we were gone.
Saturday. So that's what screwed me up too. But Saturday I didn't get to see much of the vendor hall because I was doing two round table things. That was pretty much the whole day. Like I did the morning with Light Fight and the afternoon with the future of the industry thing, which was cool. So if I missed people there, but it was great. So I thought we would get a little bit behind the scenes stuff of like, when did you guys start planning this year's event?
We wanted to start in October, but officially, I think, was it January, Tom?
Yeah, we started
really
pretty much right up in January, yeah. Well, we had some general ideas and things like that, but as far as like getting the whole committee together, I mean, that's the one thing that a lot of people don't understand. There's 11 of us on the committee, so getting everybody together and you know, getting who's doing what and all that kind of stuff really takes a lot. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of midnight oil. And so we started in January and it was, you know, rubber to the pavement and ready to roll kind of thing.
You guys did an amazing job, especially just starting in January.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. There's like I said, there's a lot of hours from a lot of people and, you know, hands down, the committee is what really makes the event.
Yeah.
So, for example, some of that footage that was at the dinner of the Grinch stealing props, that took place in like early January when people's displays were still up. It was me and my daughter going around stealing the props.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I was questioning that. I was sitting there when I was watching. I was like, so did they make people put shit back out, or do they plan ahead?
Plan ahead, and actually, that I have to give Bob McDonald credit for that idea. It was like the Grinch stealing Christmas, and I wasn't sure how it was gonna play out, but it turned out great. I loved it.
No, it was cool. It was cool. The only thing that was hard to watch during the show was watching the pixel show and the screen. I felt like I never got the full show because I was either like focusing on what was going on the screen or focusing on the lights. That was the only downside, is that I couldn't pay attention to like everything at once. And that might have been I was sitting too close, or I don't know, but it was amazing, and there was a lot going on. But I
something
missed,
you gotta.
I missed some of the video because I was paying attention to like all the sequencing, and then I missed a bunch of the sequencing because I was paying attention to the cool video. So, but that was cool. I liked it. It was
Something you
definitely
gotta watch
show.
like 3 or 4 times to get the full effect of it.
Yeah.
Sadly, I never got to see much of it because I was up on stage. So
yeah, you were facing
you
backwards.
still haven't seen it.
Yeah, but we did get it recorded and things like that. I mean, we're not going to release like the full videos, but we'll release some parts of it to see some of it. So
it was very cool. It was very cool. So, if you guys want to like go over everybody on the committee and what they did, because I know it wasn't just you two that did this, but you were the two that I saw the most. So I'm sure there was behind the scenes and other people doing stuff. Give them credit.
Tom, go for it.
Oh, you're gonna make me go for it. So
nobody wants to forget anybody.
No, so there was so we'll start with Bob McDowell. So Bob McDowell was kind of our liaison with the church. He also was helped putting on the dinner show. You got of course the famous JoJo Jordan Nash, who was doing a bunch of the production along with Mike Utter, who does a bunch of the production as far as the audio side and bringing in all the vendor hall. So he, his experience brings in the pipe and drape and doing some of the CAD work for us. There is Diane, who was doing the snack bar. There is Mickey Minnie, who was doing registration like they always do, did some emceeing. There was Russell that came in and did the emceeing. Who am I missing?
Calvin.
Calvin. Oh, Calvin. He was like kind of liaison between the hotel and the food. So he spent many hours on the phone arranging for the food to be delivered and picked up.
Guy.
Chris Ward, who was kind of handling raffles, organizing raffles.
Yep. And then going back to Calvin, there was issues with hotel rooms, like getting dropped off, and he was making calls just left and right, getting things fixed. So really amazing job by Calvin on that. Chris with the raffles, taking care of that. We had a new admin system that had a couple bugs the day of, and couldn't get them fixed there. And Chris had to do some manual stuff, but we got it all out today, or by today. So other than that, did we miss anybody?
Carl.
I always forget Carl for some reason, but Carl leads the education. So he always leads the education, gets the teachers arranged, makes the schedule as far as what happens where. Something conflicts with another, so he's actually got a really tough job. And then anybody else?
We had Dante, the photographer. We had the Big Does helping with build classes and outside displays.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like that. Brian, you missed it. You walked up to this thing and they had a parade float and then like Big Does like props from their house. Like on the entrance in. Yeah. So there was big stuff. And then there was a decorating contest, I believe. Right? There was the inflatables and stuff. So people decorated the lawn out front. It was cool. There was fountains. It was all done up. It was fancy. It was cool. And then you went inside and this place looked like it was brand new and like super nice. Like I was scared setting up stuff that I didn't want to scratch the floor.
We were too. We were like freaking out, going up to the people like, "Are you sure we can put this across the carpet? Are you sure you just do this?" They're like, go right ahead.
Even when I got there, they were like, "Oh, take the hand truck and bring this stuff in." I was like, "That's nice floor and tile. I'll carry it. I'm good. I don't want to use the hand truck." I was like, "Hand trucks screw up things."
No, they had a pallet jack. I was like,
sorry,
how far can we go with the pallet jack? They're like, "I'll just take it right on in." And I was like,
"That's what it was. Not the hand truck. It was the pallet jack."
Yeah.
I took everything on a rubber wheeled hand truck because I thought that was safer than the pallet jack because I was scared to screw up the floor with the pallet jack because I was like, I know what pallet jacks do.
Unlike last year where we have a clip of Keith Wesley pushing the saran wrap onto the carpet, which was like it went viral for some reason. This year we didn't have to do anything like that.
Yeah, it was nice. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a very cool venue.
Another kind of unsung heroes were definitely the volunteers, like Ant, the Van Horns, Dave Moores from the church. So he did a lot of production with the dinner. He actually did meetings with us during the planning for the dinner. So a lot of the spotlights and all that stuff he did, the lighting, and he worked with Bob, as well as the film crew. So the church's film crew that does the lives and stuff actually filmed the entire dinner. So shout out to those guys too.
Is that who had the big cameras running around?
The one that had the big camera was Dante, but the one actually at dinner was the
Okay, because I was like, what the fuck? Is like this a real film crew coming here? I was like, whoa. It was cool.
Yeah, if you didn't know, he's part of L Designs Plus, so he does some props and things like that. So he actually was a vendor last year, but his real professional career was he was professional photographer or what's the term? Videographer, and did like shows and stuff like that.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
They had everything, Brian,
Wow.
except for alcohol during the event. That's okay.
Well, it was in a church, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It made
from
sense.
the pictures,
I did catch JR in the corner going, "Water, turn to wine, turn to wine."
No, so
not that kind of church.
I ordered Red Bulls to get delivered to the church, and Ed Smith was actually nice enough to bring them to me because I was like, I got the notification, but people were talking to me in my booth, and he brought them to me, and he's like, "Do you need more?" And I was like, "Well, this is today's." And then like later that day, I guess he went to the store or anything, brought me a full bag of Red Bulls. I was like, "Thank you, Ed. That was awesome." Out of nowhere, I was like, "Thank you for replenishing my Red Bull intake for the day."
And he didn't bring me one. I'm mad at that.
Yeah. Well, I had some extras, so next time, I'll always have Red Bulls. But yeah, so I don't know how much of the surprise, like some of the stuff I think should stay as a Mega Mini thing. Like you got to go to know some of the cool stuff that happens there.
Yeah.
But you guys had Tanya show up. So how the hell did you guys get Tanya to show up?
That's trade secrets, my friend. No.
Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly. You don't say how you did it, but like who was behind getting there?
It was actually something that I've been working on for about 2 years, actually. Last year we just couldn't get the time and the dates to line up, and then this year we finally did. So kudos to her. And then I tell you what, just to speak on her behalf for a second, she is absolutely phenomenal to work with. She's a down to earth person. I mean, I know we've been recorded with her.
Yeah.
on the show and stuff like that, but to actually meet her and work with her, and she's sitting here texting me like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Whoa, I got Tanya texting me."
You would never imagine she's like a TV star. She's so down to earth.
Yeah.
So the coolest thing I saw was she was supposed to leave like an hour or so earlier than when she left.
Yep.
But people got in line to take pictures with her and have her sign stuff and stuff like that. And I was talking to Felicia, and I told Felicia, I was like, "Hey, you want me to like Disney this and go stand in the back and be like, no more?" Right? And she's like, "No, she's loving this." So it was so cool. Like she stayed longer than she was supposed to just to meet everybody that wanted to meet her. It was awesome.
We had asked her, "Do you want us to like set up a table and like sign autographs?" She goes, "No, I want to go like take pictures and hug people and stuff."
Yeah.
Super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, I mean, should I tell them about how the interview part happened, Fred?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So she was supposed to do keynote, right? And then we had a call the week before the event. She's like, "I want to change it up. I want to do like a sit down." So we literally changed the entire show within a week. So
it was cool. That worked.
Yeah.
I think that's more her style anyways.
It is. She loved that. That's what she wanted to do. And Felicia enjoyed it too. So
yeah, no, it was cool. I forgot what I was going to say now, though. I had something, but that was cool. That was cool that all went down and that happened. And the one thing I was going to say, I thought it was so cool. She was about to leave, and then she's like, "JR, let's take a selfie." Also, she could send it to my wife. I was like, "All right, that's fine."
She did that with too. She's like, "Did we take a selfie?" I was like, "Yeah, you took one with me and my daughter too." So.
Well, I told her, I was like, "Yeah, we took it in my booth when you went around, right?" And she's like, "Well, I don't have my phone, so I want to send it to Cecilia because they talk on Instagram."
Oh.
Like ever since, like Cecilia would be like, "I want to move the couch over here," and like ask Tanya, and then I have Tanya and my wife basically telling me that I need to move the couch.
That's hilarious.
It is.
And where to move it to.
And that's how cool Tanya is, though. Like,
Yeah.
like ever since the episode, her and my wife like go back and forth talking on Instagram messengers. Like, and then like Tanya would comment like when Cecilia posts something. Like, it's just she's like a real person, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
it is. Yeah.
But I was like, all right. Somebody was in my booth before she was coming there. I was like, is she gonna remember who I am? Right? Because there's a lot of people that's been on the show, right? And then somebody's like, she's probably remember it. Either they prepped her beforehand or she's gonna remember, right? And she remembered right away. And I was like, okay, that was cool.
We did not prep her.
Yeah.
Nope.
So it was good. It was good she remembered.
Nope.
And then you guys had to make that light fight video with all the families, or most of them. I'm sure some showed up before you knew, right? But you put my daughter in there so much, I was like, God damn it! I almost want to do this damn show again.
Yeah, I would do it again for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously part of the Losers Club, but
Yeah, well, there should be the best of the losers.
That's right.
Redemption episode.
I think so too. Although I don't have a show anymore now, so
We actually thought about naming the holiday showdown outside the Redemption, so people could kind of participate and people that might have not won, that go in there and try to redeem themselves.
Yeah. No, I would stay out of that. I wouldn't want to lose again.
Well, that we didn't want ABC going. What's going on?
Yeah.
So,
No, it was a great event. From like the first day walking in, how they had it set up with the vendor hall. Like everybody pretty much had to walk through the vendor hall to get anywhere and go to the classes. So it was cool because when they got out of classes, they hung out in the vendor hall. So it was good. The vendor hall always had people in it. It was a good time. It was good. And it looks like they're expanding that church. Is that going to be space you guys could use?
Yep.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow.
Because as many people were there, I'm thinking Brian's got to come next year, and I'll actually have lights on, and maybe more of a expo size booth. Right now, there's not room for that, but if we got room, I might go a little more out.
Yeah, that's the plan. So they got the drawings. It's supposed to open by December 1st. So I'm waiting to get a hold of the drawings so we can kind of look at that. But it should be, it's basically be hooked on to where the vendor hall was. So it should just be like kind of just an expansion.
That's cool.
Kind of right and straight kind of thing. So yeah.
Wow.
Yep. We'll put Brian in the corner, way back in the back somewhere.
Where I belong.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Michael doesn't even know how to spell my name, and I spell his name correct. He's saying hi, everybody. So I'm going to just pop that up real quick.
Oh, that's funny.
Before we get on to the next thing, though, because I was talking to Tom earlier today, and I'm like, I don't know if I know Fred or not. So, Fred, you want to tell everybody who you are and stuff? And while you're doing that, I'll just post these comments up. So,
I'm just nobody. I way back when I started up the Extreme Lighting Fanatics of Florida group. So people in Florida could network and whatnot, just because we had the Lightorama groups and the tri-state groups and all these different groups, but nothing really going on in Florida that was helping people like network and connect and communicate. So I started that up, and then I started reaching out to people like Ed Smith, Dave Castle, the people that I just got to connect with, Catherine, and we got together and decided to kind of shift the mini that was going on up in the Panhandle. We moved it to Orlando, and I mean the rest is history. I put on a small display, nothing crazy. What can I say? I mean,
Fred, you've been what? How? Maybe I missed it. You've been with the Mega Mini for, well, it was a mini then, for how long? How many years?
Since 2016.
Yeah. And I came in 2017, so you got me by a year.
We started with 25 people. My kids were like there's a picture of my kids sitting in the corner all on their phones and headphones. And they were like 7 years old.
wow.
They don't even remember it. I asked my daughter the other day, you remember that? She goes, I don't remember. I'm like, yeah, you're probably just glued to your phone.
Yeah. They do a great job. This event was awesome. Brian, since you weren't there, is there anything that you would want to know about this, since you're probably some of the people watching this right now that haven't gone to a Mega Mini or haven't been there in a while like you. Have you gone, Brian?
Yeah, I was there in oh my gosh, when was that? 22?
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago was the.
Yeah, when it was still at the hotel, and I booked the wrong one to get the military.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I had to Uber back and forth because
Yeah.
I wanted that military discount. That sucker was
We had to
expensive.
send Brian back and forth to the other
You
embassy
know?
suites.
We don't have you booked here. And I'm like, yeah, you do. No, it was one that was next to the park, but it was cheaper than the one that the show was in. Or
Brian,
the mini was in,
that
so.
one up right there.
Yeah. It was a nice, relaxing ride at 2 a.m., half lit, and trying to find my hotel room. So, yeah, I had nobody to help guide me, to where I was staying. So, but I did have a beautiful view.
Nice.
So, you have any questions for these guys since you haven't been in a while? And I'm sure a bunch of people are going to watch this and never been.
Yeah, just check out the Facebook posts that everybody was making on there. Brian Michael put a bunch on there.
Yeah, Brian. I forgot to mention that. Brian Michael. So I kind of had him help kind of reach out to past contestants to see if they'd want to come and stuff like that.
Well, he is the librarian.
He is the librarian, that's for sure. I think he knows more about the show than ABC. I swear.
I was on the panel and I was like, I don't know what episode this was, but Matt was the first one to win with a light fight, like an animated light show, and Tanya picked him. And Brian in the audience is like, "That's episode season this," and he lived to here, and I was like, "Yeah, he knows everything, every single thing." It was awesome to have him.
I saw
around.
a picture of a slide that he had in his class, and it was like broken down by static and animated, and seeing where they were and with percentage. I'm like, "Yo,
no kidding,
wow, that's a lot of data right there."
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a ton of data. So he was good to have on to help kind of talk to everybody and see who was coming and get their videos and stuff. We could make that video, and it was awesome.
I'm sure, Tom, you had the same experience I did. I've never been in a room with so many people that have been on the light fight.
Nope.
Usually there's a small handful of us, and most of us losers.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever been outnumbered by winners.
Here's a fun fact. So there was actually, how many winners was it? 9, I think?
Yeah.
So there was 9 winners there. They couldn't all bring their trophies because of obviously you can't get in a plane, and I don't blame them. Yeah. Out of all the times we've actually had the light fight trophy show up, which has been every year because usually the big just bring theirs, and Castle and Lisa and Carol. Yeah. And I've never actually held one yet. I still have not been within 5 feet of one.
I'm treating it as a Stanley Cup.
I'm so mad at that. I'm like,
No, so, I'm treating it as a Stanley Cup. You don't touch it unless you earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't know how much it weighs. Until,
I don't know how much one weighs. Nothing. I've had them like this close to me in photos, but I won't touch it.
That's true. I'd be scared to drop it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You didn't win. Oh, you broke it because you didn't win it? No, I dropped it. It was serious, real question.
Right.
Imagine taking it apart to clean it. I'd be so scared to do that.
Oh, don't worry. David Castle made a whole tutorial on how to do it and put it in the light fight chat group we have. I was like, oh, thanks for bragging. Nice.
So what were all of the classes that you guys had? Because every mini, they all put classes together and stuff. You guys had a 2-day showing or a 2-day Mega Mini, so that's a lot of class times to fill. So I know the panels and stuff, but
so if you've never been to one, so we're kind of unique. So we do the intensives before, and then the day of there, of course we got the vendor hall, but the classes are what really sets it apart, and they're all, you don't have to pay to attend. That's all part of the fee to get in and the lunches and all that kind of stuff. But we had over 50 classes, Fred.
I thought it was 40, but you might be right, around 50.
I think we ended up with over 50. I mean, it's things like submodels, the round tables. There was a really 2 really good ones that Bill Porter and Keith did about, basically the things you're not supposed to do with pixels. They did and would show it, and I missed that, of course. But supposedly that was really good of of that, and people were freaking out like, "Well, it's a safety issue." It's all
I
stuff that's
heard that
been-
was really good too, and I was very happy that I supplied them with some pixels to blow up.
Yep.
And Keith was like, I was surprised. It took more than I thought to make these blow up, and I was like, yes.
That was literally the point of the class, was to make
Yeah.
them burn out or anything
Yeah.
like that. So, you know, Pulse Mesh had a class.
Lightorama.
That's a new thing. Lightorama, I tell you what, Lightorama, we love them to death, because you give them the slots and what they want to do, they take it. Aubrey and their team and Nuno, they basically make the entire thing themselves, and we just hand us like, here you go, and we just copy and paste and go from there. So they really you know, put on a great show too. So if you're in Lightorama, we're not shy. So
now
Very
that
awesome.
you guys are getting the other light fighters, you know, that aren't the LOR people, the X Lights people, the regular people, I'm thinking we need to maybe start adding some basic lighting classes. Maybe
you mean like
blow mold repair.
blow mold repair?
Yeah, you know, but like some AC light things, because then like those people from Light Fight had a blast.
Absolutely.
And yes, that some of them took classes to learn new things, but if you had a few classes tailored to what they do normally, and maybe Michaels could help with this, like his type of display, then those people will start becoming regulars too.
Absolutely. I mean, every year we put up presenters. We're not trying to be just RGB. I mean, we want the Lightoramas and the you know, static lights and things like that, and even the vendors too.
Yeah.
So we're not picky. We want everybody to come and make it a good event. And you know, we are a non-profit, so we're not trying to make a profit. So that's what also makes us unique. And you know, that's why we try to keep our price points low. And
we're people in the hobby. We're not just
and we're all people in the hobby. We all do shows or have done shows, you know. A couple of, you know, sold their shows like me and Calvin, you know, Stop Cheaters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would love to do some more non-animated classes and you know, vendors and things like that.
That's very awesome.
Brian commented. So
Yeah.
he liked it. It was good. And I think it'd be good also to bring more people in, because oh my God, Brian's gonna kill me. And she lives semi close to me. She was a light fighter. She did the 3D printing class. I thought that was really cool.
Quintero.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a big hit this year. She did it 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or was it 3 years ago?
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3. But I never got to meet her because that's when I got sick. So this is the first time me meeting her. I've talked to her a couple times, you know, through Messenger. But she is the nicest person.
Oh,
she
yeah.
Loves what she does. She takes, you know, a 3D pen. I wish we had some pictures, but she makes these swans and different ornaments and puts lights in them, and that's her whole display if you never saw the show. And she actually taught how to do that. So I love that. So she wants to come do it next year. She already said she wants to do it. So
yeah, no, that was cool.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of stuff, if there was like their own line of teaching on, you know, the basic display stuff, I think would draw more people in.
I wish they weren't tied down. I would show you. My wife won some of her decorations, like some little lighted mushrooms and stuff right there, but they're kind of like all tangled in. I can't pull them down, but I would show you. She does the whole thing and it's whole 3D ornament thing and run. The one thing she said is everything that I make has lights in it. Every ornament that she makes with the 3D always has lights in it.
It's very cool, the stuff she does.
Absolutely.
Trying to think anything else that I should ask, because like I know more than I should about certain events and stuff, so it's hard for me to like come up with like what should I ask you guys to like for everybody else who hasn't gone and stuff like that.
Shoot Tom a message and ask for permission first and then do it. See what he says.
What?
Shoot him a message on what you were going to ask and he'll say yes or no.
No, I'm thinking myself. I'm not have a controversial question. I'm just trying to think of good questions to ask for people who haven't been there. So if somebody wants to go next year, When are you guys going to announce when it is and start doing the registration for it?
So we're going to announce it as soon as we know the date. We got to coordinate the date. That's actually being worked out today at the facility. They're supposed to give us a list of dates. We asked for a date, but there's a little. They're talking about it. In other words.
Yeah.
We also got to figure out if they want us back.
Yeah, we also got to figure out if they want us back too. So, but we understand it is. But as soon as we get that, we'll announce the date. We already got the theme, and then we plan every year to open registration prior to December, but it always ends up for January for some reason. And I think that's because we are volunteers. We all have shows, and it's all stuff to do. Even though I don't have a show, I ended up helping somebody with a show last year, so I was. It's hard to get all that stuff ready. So
you help everyone every year with a show.
Yeah,
you help me with a show. I'm sure you've helped everyone on this call with a show.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
He's like, yep, I helped him.
Yeah.
The next year's theme, we already announced it, is Polar Express. We try to theme it like we did Home Alone. We did National Lampoon Vacation. We've done Elf. This year was Grinch. I feel like I'm missing one, but next year is going to be Polar Express. Kind of try to make it a theme.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Awesome. What is next year's theme? I know that was announced.
You know any connections to Tom Hanks?
Yeah. That's pretty high up on the food chain.
If the prices are $9,000 for half an hour next year, don't complain to me. I'm just kidding.
I think what makes the Florida Mega Mini so cool is it is done by the hobbyist, and it is 100% driven to be for the hobbyist from everybody from LOR and stuff. And I think you guys do a really good job at that. And you also put on a show, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do. And we had a big commercial vendor come in this year, Global Special Effects, and they absolutely were blown away and loved it, and already want to come back next year. So, we're not picky,
that was cool that they were there.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of their snow machine outside when it was windy. I ate a lot of snow just trying to walk in the
building. yeah, I ate a lot of snow too with my.
When it got windy, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, I don't know if you know this. I don't even know if Tom knows this, but me and a few of us, PPD had these little carabiner clip bottle openers on their desk, on their table as giveaways. And me and a few of us were playing a game to see how many we could get on Tom's wheels. So as Tom would go by when he's not paying attention, so if you found a bunch of those on your wheels, Tom, it was
that takes the
fun.
Somebody finally told me about that. I think they're still on there actually. That was kind of funny. But if I was going full blast outdoor mode, fast mode, I don't think you were able to get on that. But
I usually try to get you when you stop to talk somebody. I was like, click, click.
Yeah. Yeah.
That takes the playing card on the spokes a whole new level.
Yeah.
So
I was waiting for it to get long enough to go up my wheel and flip me across the thing.
No, we were smart. We had to make sure that you were always safe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put y'all on the spot because I want to know what your one, maybe two of your favorite parts of the show, of the whole mini was. So
I've got that real quick. Tom, I'll give you time to think about that one. My favorite part was actually not something that was open to the attendees. It was David Mills, Dave Castle, and myself on stage rehearsing for the game show. And it was Family Feud. And it was Dave and I as the contestants. And then Dave Mills was the host. And he was rehearsing his lines. And he was going through some questions. And we were, doing the buzzer. And the buzzer was wired opposite, so I would hit it first, but the other one would light up, and I'd spit out an answer, and then Dave Castle would respond, and we try to pick if we wanted to steal it or play it or pass it. And if whoever would get the 3 strikes first, that person would run to the other side as if they were part of the team and just answer foolishness. We would just and we would get all the answers right, and we would pretend we're part of the same team and just high five. It was hilarious. We were just being clowns on stage. And at one point, like, Dave Mills is giving the instructions, and I'm just looking at him like this, trying to throw him off his game. And it was hilarious. I really wish someone had recorded. I don't think it got recorded.
And I watched this and was just sitting there just laughing. I didn't do this. I was so mad. I should have recorded it.
I would be playing it right now if somebody had a video of that.
Yeah.
So what about you, Tom?
I'd say my top moment would be probably the moment that I did the joke on Felicia and Tanya before we started the interview in the couches.
Yeah.
So when I contacted Jordan and said, hey, I want to do something funny, and Jordan's like, genius. So we kind of planned all that, and that's basically where I, put him on the spot about not picking me to win and stuff like that. That was funny.
Great.
So it was that one, and then when I first met her outside, she took the time to ask me like what happened and where I got sick and stuff like that. So that's kind of touching for me.
I heard her say a remark that she was running into a lot of people because I think Peace called her out or something, and like, hey, why didn't you choose me? I know I heard her make a comment like, I feel like at some point I'm gonna get egged by a bunch of people because all the people that I did not choose are around me. She was like really scared that she's just nervous about that.
I don't think it was David because he got his answer at my filming because he was there and she showed up and talked to him.
Mm.
But there was, I think what my coolest thing was having Tanya back there, her like being excited about the stuff that I'm making, and how she told me that she's been seeing my stuff at people's houses, which I thought that was really cool. That one, she like remembered who I was and kind of know what some of my stuff is. And I guess Felicia was also telling me that she signed up for my emails so she could kind of see what new stuff there is, so they know, give me credit if they can, which I thought was really cool. And the other thing, I thought I was really blown away with the people from Florida on how many of them came to the booth and was just telling me thanks for all donating all the stuff and like everything I do and all the cool stuff I come out with and like how I keep innovating. That was a really cool feeling. I don't get that feeling at big shows. You know what I mean? But having all those people come by and just tell me how much they like the stuff and how I come out with this new stuff and innovate, that was a cool feeling. I really enjoyed that. I was like sitting there all by myself in my booth, like, I could do this all day. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, and that goes to show you that, I mean, the vendors this year were incredible. I mean, everybody, there wasn't many that didn't come this year, which was awesome. And the vendor hall was packed. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see that. I mean, we literally sold out of booths. So
yeah, I was sad Sunday. I had nobody in my booth, but actually, Brian Riff showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Riff just was like, I'll stand in your booth. That's fine. So he like stood in my booth all day Saturday. Sorry, I keep saying Sunday. It's throwing me all off all day.
We did the same thing. We were all talking like on Sunday. We're like, this is kind of nice to have Sunday off, so we're not going right back to work the next day. So that was kind of nice. It was a good bonus.
So he hung out at my booth when I was doing the classes and stuff. So there was somebody there, but it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, I knew Riff was going to be going because I was talking to somebody that was working with him. So
yeah, and he was selling his show,
Yeah, I think he's done.
He's getting out of it. Yeah, he's gonna, I think, start doing some traveling. I think is what
he converted a bus.
Yep.
Into like an RV, like a school bus.
Nice.
I think he's gonna travel in that thing.
Yeah, he's been working on that for the last couple of years, but.
And then we had Doug from Vegas also hung out in the booth. He
oh wow.
He just hung out, helped out.
Doug Krantz?
Yeah. Helped me unload and break down since I had to leave a little bit early for the show. Which, to be honest, I think that was the best thing I could ever do. I'm sorry for you guys that I had to leave like early and try to break down a little early. But when I took down the brand new Mega Tree and I folded up the legs and I put it over my shoulder and put it in the box, and I had a crowd and everybody watching me pick up my new Mega Tree with like myself and put it in the case, everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "Damn, I should have filmed that. That was a good commercial." Totally unintentional, but like I put the tree in the box. And I see this crowd just watching me take it down. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Maybe
Yeah,
somebody
you
got
were
it.
out there in a
Maybe
jiff.
somebody got it on.
We had someone in the raffle line trying to redeem one of your door prizes. I said, "No, you got to go over there to Matto's," and you're like, "He's gone." I'm like, "What? When did he take off?" So,
Oh shoot!
yeah, that was quick, man.
Yeah, I had to
Catch a flight, right?
get to the airport.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I was all big old hurry to get to the airport. I get to the airport, and then my flight's delayed 45 minutes. So I could have hung out longer.
Yeah, but that's
that
not a
didn't
risk you
happen
wanna
until I
take.
was almost there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and if I would have hung out longer, it wouldn't have happened. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah. One thing I do have a request for next year, if you guys get to keep the same event. I would make the other hotels, the two other ones that are closer to that bar and restaurant, like the main ones. And then I would do as many after parties as you can in that area, like that Irish pub.
Yep.
Because that was convenient. Yeah, the venue was a little bit farther away from the airport, from the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could keep the after parties in walking distance to like the main hotels, that would be convenient for the Uber rides and everything else.
So I had
That's my
reached
only-
out to the Applebee's, which is right near there, and I said, "Hey, so we want to do this." And they're like, "How many people do you think will show up?" And honestly, it's so difficult to tell because it could be just crazy mad, a lot of people, or it could just be a sprinkle of people, right? It could be 12 people, it could be 50. So I wanted to prepare for the worst case, and I told them it could be 50 people, but we don't need tables. Just sit us out on the patio. And they're like, yeah, if it's less than 40, we can figure something out. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh wow!
But yes, I wanted to do Applebee because they stayed out to like 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, open.
Yeah.
And I know you guys like to stay out late, walk
yeah.
through drive-throughs and stuff, that sort of thing.
Hey, we only walked through one drive-through, and it was convenient. It was in the hotel parking lot that we were at. And some people that walk through the drive-through do not remember us walking through the drive-through. But I remember it all. Yes, I was the not sober, but I was the chaperone.
You were the designated walker?
I was the designated walker to go to the Taco Bell. I was also the designated payer and orderer because some people just couldn't. So, and then I got us back to the lobby with all the Taco Bell. And then half of it didn't get eaten because they were done. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. A lot of hanging out in the lobby. A lot of hanging out at bars till 2 a.m. It was a good time.
Yeah, the hotels was tricky. We'll make some adjustments for that.
It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But the one bourbon bar we went to, that one was a little inconvenient because it was like a ways away from the venue, but then still a ways away from the hotel. So like it was, I bummed a ride there, and then I think I bummed a ride, or we Ubered back to the Irish bar.
So the
Irish bar was a win-win.
The 84 different whiskeys was good.
Oh, I don't like whiskeys like that. I drink the same thing everywhere. Cheap beer, which is like a Bud Light or a Light or a Modelo or Bacardi and Coke. That's it. That's how I could function the next day. Bacardi and Coke's got the ice melting and the soda with the alcohol. So I never looked hungover. Saturday morning was a little bit rough, but I was fine by the time I had to be in the light fight thing. So, but yeah, it was a good time. It was a very good time.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Do you guys have anything you want to share about next year's or this event or anything for new people that might be coming to it?
We got tons of great feedback. Yesterday we actually spent 2 hours talking about all the comments and feedback and things. And there's some things that we definitely observe that want to improve on. We definitely need some volunteers that, whether it be an hour or two here and there watching the snack bar or whatever. But we're just trying to figure out how we're going to top this year. it's we set the bar a little high.
Well, I think if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. You don't always need a celebrity there.
Right.
I think that made it cool, but it didn't make it what it was. You know what I mean?
Right. You can still
everything
do
else
everything
was on
minus
point.
that
Yeah.
part. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So it was a good time.
I would say, for me, if you've never been, you got to come experience it because it's like no other. I think because I've been to most. I've been to Trans World and Expo, and I think it just makes it unique because the people that put it on are people that do shows. You know, so it's a different experience, and you know, without the volunteers and the committee and the board, the show would. I mean, it's not even a show. I mean, the Mega Mini would not happen.
Yeah.
So you know, Fred and myself, we can't take anything like, you know, credit for this and that, but it's really the entire team. Without that entire team, it wouldn't happen. So.
Yeah, and I think the other shows all have their place too. It's not like go to the Florida Mega Mini instead of going to this. Everything, they're all different in their own way, and they all have their own place.
Yep.
And I think that's how it works very well. Is because like Florida Mega Mini is not competing with the East Coast Christmas Show or Christmas Expo.
Nope.
It's its own hobby-based hobby show.
Correct.
You know, where Christmas Expo is its own traveling convention that goes all over the country, pulls different people in when it's close to them. The new one, the East Coast Christmas Show, that's going to be a hobby-based like show, but also always in one location, but getting the bigger crowd because it's got the bigger vineyards and it's put on by a corporate event.
Yeah, we actually gave away to East Coast tickets. They let us.
Oh wow,
they were a sponsor. So
that's what's cool is
yeah,
none of these I think should be competing with each other. They're all their own separate event, and I think either people, if they can only do one a year, try one different one each year, or if you can do multiples, pick the ones you want to always go to. But they all have their place, and what the Florida Mega Mini has done is pretty awesome.
We appreciate it.
There was times where I was a little iffy about the Florida Mega Mini, but you really you steered that ship in the right direction and made things a lot better. So
I had multiple people pull me to the side and go, "You guys really like brought it back to the grassroots, like what we used to. Last couple of years were a little bit different, but it was always about doing it for the community and you know just." Not be just a commercial event. It's about learning, social, networking.
Yeah. Now, if for some reason you do have to move, the venue in a hotel, that was very nice.
Agreed. But cost-wise,
yeah. But this is a very nice place. But maybe we do it in the same area that we just did this.
Yeah.
And probably not as expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you lose this place, don't leave this place.
Yeah.
But if they're like, screw you guys, you know,
y'all are too rowdy for us. We can't handle you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a learning experience for both of us, so that was nice. They learned things, we learned things of things, but I think they were happy, we're happy, we loved it, everybody loved it. So
the dude that ran it looked pretty excited about it when he was on stage during dinner.
Yeah, Ed.
Yeah, he looked like he enjoyed us being there.
Yeah.
Either he's a good actor or he actually enjoyed us. I don't know, but
oh, he's a great speaker. When he got up on stage, I was like, whoa, this guy. Yeah. I mean, you go to some churches and stuff like that, but he was.
That's why he has such a nice church.
That's true. True.
We only got our ear pulled one time. And it was because there was a sexy Santa in a corner.
I know. I noticed sexy. Mrs. Claus had to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, she was too revealing in her coralness.
I didn't see any of those pictures on Facebook.
That's because she had to go down.
Yeah, she had to go get packed away. But so Mr. Cena was able to stay. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and just again, the shout out to the vendors that go above and beyond. What you don't know about vendors, I mean, yes, they come in and they get booths and stuff like that, but Mattos, donates like $8,000 in door prizes for classes. I mean, you got James that makes all these crazy things and the tabletops, and who am I missing, Fred?
There's a moving head. There's
brings in his arch and the moving heads, and props on stage and the EFL. I mean, just, and I'm probably missing all of the names, but all of them go way above and beyond what they typically would do at a commercial show, I think. And it's just amazing, and we appreciate it. And without, vendors, and sponsors, all the sponsors that sponsor too. So I just wanted to give another thanks to them.
Yeah, we don't give away much of anything at the commercial shows.
Yeah.
And we do it because it's a community show, but we also don't do it for advertisements, Tom. You don't have to tell people how much we gave away. We do it for the community.
Well, I mean, we want people to know. I mean, it's not. I know you actually tell us, don't say blah 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 blah, but
yeah,
I think it's good for that to be known. I mean, because it doesn't happen, kind of thing.
Well, thanks, but I just want to support the community and the people doing nice stuff for them.
He only gave away $5. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Tight ass. But so what I, in case somebody is watching this, because we've done a lot of the, talking about the minis when we did what was it, not last year, 2 years ago.
Our last comeback.
The last comeback. And the question I always forget to ask is, if somebody is watching this and they live wherever and they don't have a local mini by them and they want to organize or start to get one set up themselves, what would be probably the most valuable piece of advice that you could give them if they were looking into doing their own mini? Trying to put you on the spot there.
I would say don't underestimate what you know. Because that's one of the things, like when we're trying to put on classes, you second guess, like, well, I'm not going to teach that because everybody knows that. And it's not the case. So when you're putting on a mini, find people that are in the community that put on a display and try to figure out, even if it's the smallest thing for them to teach about. Pick a place. Don't make it free, because then you'll have 3,000 people sign up, buy food for 3,000 people, and only you get 20 people show up.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
But when you're picking out those classes, I would say don't look over the small stuff. It might be worth something. Someone might not know about it. I think that every little bit of education counts.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
Yeah. My advice would be to definitely have a good support system. I think we all have our lanes, so to speak, with the committee. So everybody has their own lane, and they're very good at their lanes. But we also work together, on the highway, if you want to call it. So find people, you can't find people of the same expertise as you, because that's not going to work. You need different avenues, because they have their roles or their expertise, and that's what makes it really happen. So that's my advice.
The other thing I want to add to this, if you attend a local mini and go to them and stuff like that, you should see if the person running it needs some people on a committee. Because I know the SoCal, Shane's doing a lot. I'm trying to help him where I can, but that's 6 hours away from me. It's technically not my mini. I should be having a NorCal one. We haven't done that in a while. But, like, if you're going to a SoCal mini, hit Shane up. Ask to help. Because nobody's making money on these things. They're for the community. So, people spending less time with their family, like, and they're not getting nothing out of it.
Family.
Right.
I mean, it's
try to
a
help.
lot of hours. Yeah.
Try to take some off the plate.
Yeah, and every year we always have people show up to help, like the Billy and Justin and all them that come in to help. They're the ones that help with the furniture, and so there's always a bunch of people that come and help. But really, if you want to get involved early, plan as much as you can, have meetings, and then just help everybody out. Take your lanes, take your expertise, and bring it together.
Yeah, for sure. And that note, little plug. If you haven't signed up for the SoCal Mini yet, you should. It's at a very cool. It's no Florida Mega Mini. Nothing compared to that. It's actually smaller and it has a limit of how many people could go. But it is at Holt Productions, where he makes animatronics for Amusement parks all over the world. His line is, there's something he built in daylight every day. So it's everywhere. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to get a tour of this facility, and you should sign up for it if you haven't. And I wish you guys could come out, but I know you're far in Florida. But the SoCal Mini is something to at least try to do once, especially while we're at this location. Because
yeah, I think
pretty amazing.
That's to be said too. I mean, I've been to the bigger shows. I haven't been to many minis, so I'm going to try to start to do that now that I'm getting a little bit better and I have a different perspective on life. Like I definitely want to go check out SoCal. I want to check out South Carolina and just start going to different ones as I can.
Yeah.
Now that I can get around a little better and starting to heal up. So
I was very happy to see you standing at the podium. That made me feel warm and fuzzy inside, though, Tom. Seeing you wheel around all week and then seeing that, I was like, that's cool.
I can actually walk, and I still have to use a walker, and every once in a while I can use a cane. Just depends on the day, but I still got about 6 months on that before I'm hopefully out of that chair, I think.
But it made me feel good to seeing you stand there at the podium. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and that's why I said that comment unscripted, like, totally different story now when I stood up, because it felt like a different story at that point.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
One last thing I got to say about dinner. I've never seen Russell McFarlane flustered. But when he got on stage that first time, and maybe because it was Tanya there or what, but I was like, what are you doing, Russell? You're like dancing up there with your shoes. Like you can't stay still. You can't get words out. I was like, oh man, Russell, what happened? But
and that was me too. Like when I first got up there, my script that I was, trying to do, I couldn't even focus.
Yeah.
I was all over the place. My mind was here and there. So I think it was a little bit starstruck, and once I sat down in the chairs, I relaxed a little bit, except for that one part where something hit me. She looked at me, and I was like, I have no idea what you said.
Yeah. It's okay. When you called her out about winning, I didn't want to throw you off because you did look a little nervous, but I was going to stand up and be like, what about me?
Yeah, that was good.
If you looked a whole lot more comfortable up there, I probably would have done it, but I was like, I don't want to screw up Tom more. Like he was nervous. It would look good because you were getting it there. And I didn't want to step you back a little bit, being a smartass.
Yeah, no. Once I got down to the chairs, I was a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And honestly, you get the butterflies. Like I used to do public speaking all the time. And actually, when I got filmed, Tanya told me, she's like, "Have you done shows before?" I was like, "No." I've done a commercial or something like that, but that was it. But I haven't done it in like 20 years. So I had the butterflies up on stage, and then you got the big, a huge crowd, and
was that the most people ever at dinner?
Pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a ton of people in there.
Yeah. No, we pretty much sold dinner out.
Except for my awkward first 30 minutes of dinner when I had nobody at my table.
Hey, you had my son sitting next to you.
Well, he showed up a little bit after the start, right? But at first I was like, oh, this is awkward. And then I had the Mattos table full and then me by myself.
Yeah.
But we made up for it, right?
Yeah. Then everybody else showed up. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all busy working during the actual production of the show. So it worked out. It was good. It was fun. I don't know. You guys got anything else about Florida Mega Mini? I think you guys did a great job. I had a great time. I will definitely be back next year, as long as no family events conflict with the date.
I'm crossing my old fingers.
No, we're going to get you a goddamn nanny next year, Brian. You ain't missing.
Is that for him or is that for the house?
Or the kids are coming with you. I don't know.
The wife ended up walking in the door Thursday night.
Don't tell me this.
What are you doing back? She goes, oh, I got to leave again tomorrow. My room got canceled or whatever.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she was gone again until Saturday. So, but yeah, I'm just like, I could be on a flight right now. But no, she's like, no, I got to go back. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But
you guys did a great job.
It looked like an amazing show. I mean, I was on Facebook all day watching, and then as soon as somebody put a video up or a walkthrough up, It looked absolutely amazing. And the dinner show was on video. I mean, I'd love to see it in real life. It was incredible. So you guys definitely nailed it out of the park.
Thank you. If someone wants to look, I know the hashtag is a little controversial, I guess. So it's a hashtag FMM if you want to look it up.
Don't Google it. Just search the hashtag on Facebook.
Yeah, don't Google it.
Oh, man. I totally got to Google
Everybody's
it.
going to Google right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian Michael's on a plane right now, so maybe you shouldn't Google it until you get off the plane.
No, but we thank you. We thank you. It was definitely a labor of love, and we're happy that we were able to. I mean, I'm happy we were able to execute it and make it as awesome as it turned out.
Yeah, you guys did great. It was awesome.
Appreciate you having us on and talk about it.
Yeah. No, I should have planned this while we were there, but I don't know. My days were all off. My flight, it was stressful when I was leaving. So, but you guys did good.
The good thing is Friday.
I think my comment to JR last night was, you didn't set anything up while you were there?
And I was like, I had an idea what I wanted to do, but I did not execute that idea while I was there. There was a lot going on. It was
There
good
was a
win.
lot going on.
We try.
I was a little sad though, Tom. You're like, you don't miss the vendor awards. I was like, all right, I'll stop breaking down. I go in there, I'm like, thanks, Tom. And then I went to go break down my stuff.
Well, I can't give it away.
I know. It was fine.
Yeah. But that was all voted. So
yeah, no, it was a good time. Well, I had no lights on. I didn't expect to win anything.
Yeah.
You didn't bring a generator?
No, I didn't bring a controller because I was solo cholo, and I was like, I'm just gonna get stuff up. I don't care about it blinky flashy because everybody should know what it looks like. I'm selling structures here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And new lights. You can look at them. So
no testers, no nothing.
I had a tester running like the pathway arch, the arch, and one strand of the 1-inch Kraken. That was it.
Going all out, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, but now that, and I didn't even know there was a contest. So, just saying.
Well, I mean, you should read your emails. I mean, I only put that in there 2 or 3 times.
Okay, to be fair,
I get all
it
those.
Probably went. Oh, it went to you. I was going to say it probably didn't even go to you.
To be fair, I have employees because I don't read emails.
I'm like, hey,
You're going to bring the house, right?
Huh?
You're going to bring the house next year.
I'm going to bring the house. 100% bring the house.
We'll do the yard, whole
Yep.
works.
But to be fair, to bring the house, I kind of need like
a little more space.
Well, I need like 30 feet wide and like 12 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
Just be able to pull off the house. Because I got to put the tree to the right of the house, have the house, and then its front yard. You know?
Yeah.
And then I'd stand in the aisleway talking to people about it. But it just needs a little bit more room to work. And I also I have to make sure everybody's coming because I can't put the house up by myself. And I don't want to ask everybody else to help me because I feel like you guys got a lot of shit going on, which I know you guys offered if I needed help setting up and stuff like that. But you were busy. I brought my own shit. I was going to put it up by myself. So
that's why I bring my kids so they can help out.
Yeah.
There you go. Free labor.
Yeah. But next year I'll make sure everybody's coming, right, Brian?
Yes, sir.
And we'll
Right,
set up
Brian?
the house and it will be a good time.
I don't want to put your name tag on again.
Brian in the flesh. I loved that picture. And I'm like, yeah, he's better looking than me. I'll take that. At least according to your
Well,
wife.
I had the beard, but I trimmed it down for the week.
I was going to say, you do look a little more trim. So
Yeah.
I need to.
I have 3 extra name badges, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Swap them out.
Yeah. And then I had to find people to sit at my table for dinner because I only had me. And then I was moved off my table. So
do a better
Well,
job.
it was definitely a VIP front row. Got Tanya, well, Felicia sit next to me and Tanya, and it was fun.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great.
Sorry, I got a guy out measuring my back. 3 acres. We're fencing it in, so it's noisy. Sorry.
I don't know what Dave Castle's saying me too, but he said me too like 2 minutes ago.
Probably Googling in the FMM. Yep.
But yeah, I got to give credit to Castle, though. I felt fancy. He drove me. I may have talked him into going to the bourbon place. Sounded like he was going to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, he has people that reads his email.
People read.
I think he was going to go home, and I kind of talked him into going to the bourbon place. I was like, you going to the bourbon place? You give me a ride? And then I get in this fancy Lincoln Navigator. I felt like I was a Matthew McConaughey commercial for Lincoln with Castle looking like he's a cardboard cutout, looking all fancy, and this fancy Lincoln. I'm like, where the fuck? I was like, this is fancy. Wow. So yeah, Dave Castle.
Well, you know some of the people that read his emails?
You.
He said, if I'm asked what is my line of work, I'm the leader of Castle's elves.
That's
well,
funny.
I am changing my title. What? Yeah.
Well, meet the leader of my elves, Brian.
Title change.
Yeah. Castle nailed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a great time, guys. You well done.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Brian, if you don't come, I'll drive up and pick you up.
You promise?
Well,
I won't hold you to
Like out of that.
I'll send somebody from Montana to go get his ass on the
might be
airplane.
snowing at that time the way it's been snowing up there. So.
Send an Uber to the airport. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll
There
go
you go.
there. That's a long drive. All right, gentlemen. Well, it was a pleasure. Man, I missed an awesome show. I definitely won't miss it
I
again.
just wanted to do this episode just to make Brian feel bad for not coming.
That's why I had to leave. I had
So our goal was
starting to get tears.
Our goal was to make Tanya cry, so we nailed it. Now our goal was to make Brian feel bad. Nailed it.
Yeah. You really had the goal to make Tanya cry?
That was kind of how I put it for the I wanted to make her tear up because she always that's kind of what the show.
Yeah, I was like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not what the show wants you to do. It's just that's what everybody expects. So I don't. Clarify that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was a good job. It was good.
Yep.
It was very good. I have to say before we go, the round table for the light fight was the most difficult one I've ever been on.
Really?
Yes, because
How so?
90% of the people in the audience been on the show. So they started talking about things they probably shouldn't have talked about. So me and Castle were bouncers than we were people on the panel. We were more like, stop.
Yeah, I did hear that you guys had to jump in and kind of finagle.
Yeah, we just had to steer people's words a little bit to make them not give away secrets.
Yep.
So it was fun though. It was a good time.
Yep. I wish
So,
I could have been in
guys.
that one too. All right, thanks guys.
You were busy. It happens.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Good luck for next year. I can't wait. Tom, I know your goals, and I hope you the best on making that one happen, because that would be cool. And we'll see what happens. But later, guys, I really appreciate it.
All right,
thanks,
thanks,
guys.
everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.